you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers. So you have this great new idea. The perfect idea for a business, the perfect idea to expand your empire, and the perfect new idea, service or offering, to bring into your business. Super exciting, right? Well, this week on Amplify Your Marketing Message, I'm going to tell you how to sit with that idea and either confidently greenlight it or to park it and focus on something incremental instead of brand new. Welcome to Amplify Your Marketing Message. I am your host, Christine Campbell Rapin, and I will tell you there's a giant elephant in the room, and that it takes just a great idea to build a business. Uncomfortable, right? Well, the truth is the ideas are the easiest bit of it all. And if ideas were all it would take, we'd have a lot more success stories in the marketplace. It takes so much more than just a great idea to create a business. And if you want to use a great idea and commercialize it, then this is going to be a super important episode. I want you to share, I want you to sit with, and I want you to get your notebook out, and I want you to answer the questions I'm going to pose you and guide you through to figure out confidently, should you greenlight the idea or should you park it? Ideas are the easy bit. But the follow through is the key. And I think it's important that we audit and get clear. Is the idea something we want to create commercial success with, first and foremost? And commercial success is defined by you. You have to decide what kind of effort and reward equation makes sense to you. What becomes personally worth it? So once you've decided what your measure of success is, I want you to pursue these three questions. The first thing when it comes to great ideas and it comes to commercializing great ideas is to answer and to acknowledge this truth. People only pay for outcomes. They pay for a result. So for you, as you look at your idea, what great problem are you solving with this service, program, or concept that the idea sits within? You should be able to and need to be able to talk about this result statement in 10 words or less. The clearer it is, the more compelling it is for somebody who is seeking a solution. And you need to be visible to those seekers in order to create intersection, opportunity to have an offer made. So if you're talking about a problem that is a gap to be solved, what's the scope of the gap? If you're talking about the aspirational type of program or service, what's the gain to be had? Doesn't matter to me whether you play and choose to play within the gap or the gain, the result is the same. People will only pay for an outcome. So what is the outcome you solve? And do it in 10 words or less. Second piece of the puzzle is, what is the scope, the total available opportunity to be served in this idea, in this solution, in this program or service? And I think when it comes to understanding the available marketplace, there's three key areas you have to dig into. Number one is, how many people could you possibly serve? We call this the TAM, the total available marketplace. How many people are out there that would see the problem and be potentially curious around what you are bringing in this idea to the marketplace? The second thing of that is the frequency of purchase, because I think smart strategy, with something I highly recommend to all my clients, is that you find a repeating problem. Repeating problems increase your profit because you can serve the same client more than once. And my friends, again, we've talked about this before on this podcast, but revenue and profit are two very different drivers. You need both. But frequency can increase the number of at-bats, the number of offers, the number of win business, and the number of results you create. And so take a short path and look at frequency. The third thing, I think not enough people ask. Please be the exception to the rule and make sure you ask it. Are people willing to pay for this solution. And when you're at this idea stage where everything's sparkly and all the butterflies are running, it's hard to know this. We think somebody will pay for this. Don't play in the land of thinking. Play in the land of certainty. So what I mean by that is go not just ask people who will yes you, Facebook groups, your Aunt Sally, or somebody who really just wants you to stay positive. Head in a different direction. Look for empirical evidence. And what I mean by that is go to the marketplace, research, Google, go to your favorite tools and ask the question, are people already serving and getting paid to solve this problem? And you're thinking, Christine, that means it's competitive. Yes. Competitors are a good sign when you are testing an idea and deciding to red light or green light it. You can curate demand, which means you stir the marketplace, you educate the marketplace, you become the first mover to a brand new intersection. Problem, solution, and a marriage. I will tell you though, if you're a solopreneur, small freelancer, or a business with just their own bootstrapping money behind them, do not head off in that direction. Can you? Yes. But it is really expensive. It will take longer with more bandwidth and a truthful, harder pathway than if you go to where the market evidence already is existing. So I tell my clients when they come into my business and they want to say, Christine, I'm really struggling to find clients. And I said, well, let's talk about how many people have this problem. How often does the problem exist? Do you know who else serves this and what are they paying for? I often get a lot of, this is uncomfortable, Christine. I'm like, you've got to decide if you have a business or not. And I will tell you, not everybody who comes into our space loves my answer when I say, you don't have a business. You have a great idea, but not a business. And until you can solve the people, the frequency, and whether they're willing to pay, you will always be stuck with a great idea, but not commercial success. So at this stage, in these two questions behind you, I want you to ask yourself, do I still want to commercialize this? If the answer is yes, keep going. To the third question, which is, what makes me different? There's three things I think you can bring to the table which will differentiate you in a marketplace. Could be your story, your history, could be your values and how you see the world, and it could be the way that your expertise and your lived experience has created a unique approach to solving the gap and the gain. You do not have to be massively different. Just side note here. We often said in the corporate space, 1% better can be a landslide of millions of opportunities. But you have to recognize what makes you different, because what makes you different translates into the way we use language with our clients is what makes you the must hire. You've got to be able to communicate what makes you a must hire. You've got to be able to communicate your values and build trust with a potential buyer in order to see commercial success. And of course, we want to do that more than once in order to create the stability behind the ideas. So right now, I've given you 3 ways to test, audit, and validate your great new shiny idea. Let's recap. What problem am I solving? How big is the opportunity? And what makes me different? If you're now in a position where you're standing with a green light, I want to bring also some other expertise to the table. Because again, a great idea is the easy bit. But here's what I also want you to test. And this is going to be important. These are 2 individuals I want to share with you, 2 stories in this section that talk about things that are going to shape how you see the world and learn from some of the best brains, most successful commercial success entrepreneurs that I personally admire. The first one is to think about the size of the gain. I said, you have to decide if it's a go, no go. You have to decide if it's worth it for you. And I will tell you, business math has to play a role. What's the inputs? What's the output? But a good measure of thumb, I'd heard this a few years ago from Alex Hormozi, and he said, I was driving my team crazy because every nanosecond I had a new idea. Hands up if you can relate to that, or your team can relate to that. I told you, ideas are the easy bit. They're the easiest bit of entrepreneurship, and it's true for people like Alex, and it's true for people like me, and it's true for people like you. But he said, what I had to realize was that I had to do fewer, bigger, better. And what he meant by that, he said, is I recognized for every new idea I implemented, I screwed up my team. It required my team to change focus. And it took time for that new focus to gain momentum. But in between, there was a huge opportunity cost. We had to write SOPs. We had to train our team. We had to stop doing what we were doing successfully in order to create the space for this new idea to germinate, to grow, and to thrive. How much did that opportunity cost impact their business? 20% was his number. So he said, if I don't gain more than 20%, I did a ton of work, screwed up my team, lost momentum for nothing to end up right back with an equivalent business, which is not necessarily a super logical decision, right? Which is why a lot of ideas should be parked, not green-lighted. And he said, so for us, our belief is that we need to see a 5% gain and a recover of 20% lost opportunity and momentum in order for this to be making any sense. So just hold for a second here, because this is quite a big number, and it really rattled me, and it made me really think about how many ideas we should implement in our business when I heard this. He said, for me, when I do my idea audit, I have to be certain that we're going to get 25% growth out of this new thing. If we do not get 25% growth, we should kill the idea before it starts. 25%. Wow, it's a big number. Most of us are not certain to any great degree that we have this new idea that will deliver 25%, which means we really should hold, park, and not move forward with this idea. And I remember when I'd heard this, I created a podcast episode. It's here on Amplify Your Marketing Message, which was this title, Stop Creating, Go Sell What You've Created. And it was done in response to what was going on with one of my current clients at the time. A great creative who was constantly re-editing, constantly refining, constantly polishing new offers, but not ever selling them. Sound familiar? Anybody can relate to that? And I said to her, stop it. You're caught in this trap of ideation, of constant innovation, but you're killing your business because your team's confused. They're constantly reworking on something that never commercializes. I need you to do fewer, bigger, better. And the podcast was a response to that. And it follows this theme of what Alex was talking about. Are you sure it's worth doing? And if not, personally, I have a beautiful notebook that's called my idea notebook. And I put all these great ideas, which happen seriously almost every day, into this notebook. And when I take my CEO days, which I take every quarter to go reflect on the big picture of my business, what's working, what could be enhanced, I take stock and I ask myself this. I go through the notebook and I go, wow, that's a really good idea. And some might go, oh, I'm glad I didn't pursue that. But I look at the best idea in the notebook, and different periods of time will have different ones I select. But then I ask myself this. This is a good one. Pay attention, make sure you write this down. I say, is it worth pursuing that one new idea for the next 12 to 18 months? Or is there something in our current offers that I could focus on making incrementally better that would give a better net win without the loss of momentum? Because, as Alex said, he's like, we lost 20% momentum to gain 5% better. I needed a net 25 for this to make sense. Often when I do that exercise, I end up in the place where I'm like, I should iterate what I'm already working on now that is already working, because I don't have to gain 25% for this to be a win. I could gain 1%, 2%, 3%. And those percentages are easier to hit than a massive jump in new idea implementation. So that's something we do. The second thing that I want to bring into play is, how do you stay the course on not just falling into the trap of constant shiny object syndrome? Well, I love what Jesse Itzler is all about. He is an incredibly successful businessman. He is a person and a wonderful human being, and he has this big ass calendar. and I highly recommend them if you have not ever used one. What his concept is that you should have one big goal for the year, 12 to 18 months. It's the goal that defines the year. And then you should be auditing your calendar, your focus, and saying, I'm going to do that thing. Similar idea. By committing to fewer, bigger, better, you will see more commercial success. And what I observe about most entrepreneurs is that they sabotage their success by constantly falling in love with their own ideas. It's easy to fall in love with our own ideas, but here's the kicker. It's not about us falling in love with our own ideas that matters. It's whether the marketplace falls in love with our ideas that matters. And the only way the marketplace can fall in love with their ideas is if they're clear on what the idea is, because we have a clear solution to a problem that they have, that we talk to more people, we talk to them more frequently, and we ensure that we have paid offers and free offers for people to experience, and we're really clear what makes us a must-hire. If you're standing on the crossroads right now, I want you to think about, am I sabotaging myself with constant idea creation? And if so, this episode should be on your repeat. And I want you to go find the other episode here, which talked about stop creating, go sell something. Because I know your next client is searching right now for you. And the idea is the easy bit. But where business owners win is by staying the course, compounding, iterating 1% at a time, not constantly reinventing the wheel. Just imagine for a second here, what would your business look like if you stayed the course on an idea long enough for it to work? Here's the kicker. It might take longer than you think. It's certainly going to take longer than a nanosecond, but nothing is served by constantly starting at zero. One of the most important business advices I was giving when I first started my consulting company, it's as true then as it is now, is stop doing the hokey pokey. Stop constantly starting from zero. It is so exhausting. It's why you're overwhelmed. And trust me, throwing spaghetti at the wall does not work. The ideas are the easy bit. Go to an idea that's already working and just get better at it. I want you to take this episode and focus on fewer, bigger, better. I want you to take this episode and get clear with your ideas that you are dreaming about. Do they have a focus of commercial success? And if they're commercial success viable, they will answer those three things and get green lights. And then if you do get to that place, I want you to set your blinders on like a racehorse and say, I'm going to get great at this. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to keep the momentum, and I'm going to not do the hokey pokey. I'm going to play to the land of physics, which says an object in motion stays in motion more easily than one started at zero, and I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to pursue this because, my friends, don't be 3 feet from gold where you work, and give up on a new idea. Stay the path. You are just ahead of the great win if you greenlight fewer ideas and you stay the distance with them. This is hard, and I know we struggle with it. I also know this truth. I'm committed to that for this year. I'm committed to fewer, bigger, better. We've set our whole programming for the year. We're going to run our play. Every opportunity we say yes to is going to support the big idea. And our business has been known in the marketplace now for 5 years around one core concept, one core result. We help emerging entrepreneurs pursue their first million and learn how to build consistent, high-paying clients in their business. We teach the fundamentals. Every program we offer leads to that North Star. Every investment in research, every investment in marketing, every investment in team, every investment in programming delivers against that. Because we know what problem it is that we're solving. It's the sleepless night at 3 a.m. when people are like, I can't pay my bills. You can if you know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why to do it. That's what we teach. Get the reps in. Fewer, bigger, better. If you're with me, I want you to pop me an email to hello@Christine Campbell Rapin. I want you to say, I listened to this episode and Amplify Your Marketing Message. I'm in. Here's my one big idea. Here's how we're going to get there. Here's who's going to pay, and be accountable to that success. I love when people, our listeners, take that invitation to email me personally. I love to see what ideas you're pursuing. And I want you to win. It's so simple. People ask me all the time, why do I do what I do? I do it because I want to see you win. I want to see you do fewer, bigger, better. I want you to find your people predictably. I want you to love your business, and I want it to feel like oxygen. Don't overcreate. Go find your people and create success with them. We'll see you on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast